What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Work the Crowd podcast, where we talk everything sports and a little bit of just everything. We have here, as you can see, the streaming coach Klucas with the Pit Vipers on, ready to get going today.
Little birdie told me there's some head coach openings in college football coming up, or about to come up. Coaches, athletic departments, call me.
His
national
college
championship,
football.
national championship at Texas Tech last year and 10-0 record speak for itself.
His college football 26 gameplay is insane. So if you haven't, go take a watch. All right, so this week we're gonna do a little week 2 NFL recap. We're gonna cover week 3 of college football, and then Haley Sawyer, bless her heart. So it's all football today, pretty much. Let's get into it.
Yeah, I mean it's that time. It's that time.
It's that time of year. That is true.
So I guess let's start with the college ranks of college football. We had some really good games this past weekend. The headliner was for this weekend, Georgia Tennessee, which lived up to the hype this weekend. Was a very good game, overtime win for Georgia, 44. Unfortunate for the Tennessee kicker that just couldn't hit the field goal to not send it to overtime. But again, great game that was for College Game Day this week. You had other great games this weekend as well. How about Clemson downfall? Question mark.
They look horrible.
I mean, I predicted Georgia Tech to win this game, but I didn't. I picked Clemson. We all know I picked Clemson to go to the national championship game this year because I fell into the Cade Klubnik trap because he actually looked good in the playoff game against Texas last year. So I kind of fell into he looked good against Texas last year, who was a very good defense last year, still a very good defense this year. He's coming back for another year. They finally, I kind of gave Cade Klubnik the benefit of the doubt because for a while there, Clemson just did not have receivers. And, now they have receivers. Antonio Williams is one of the top receivers in the country. They have Brian Wesco, TJ Moore. They have receivers. And they have an NFL caliber defense. I mean, I don't understand where it's going wrong. I mean, I kind of do, but I mean, first of all, the offensive play calling is horrendous. Garrett Riley from TCU to Clemson, that downfall just needs to be studied because at TCU, I mean, he was dialing up great plays for Max Duggan and them at TCU, and now all of a sudden he doesn't know how to call anything. And listen, I kind of posed this question for our longtime standing viewers for this show. I kind of posed this question a long time ago, and I'm gonna re-say it again. Maybe it's just is Dabo just truly overrated?
Ooh, I don't know.
And when I say that, I'm saying that because of without an all-time great. I mean, all-time great's a stretch, but without an all-time great quarterback at the college football level, what has Dabo done? Deshaun Watson, one of the best quarterbacks of our lifetime in college, went to 2 national championships, won one. Then he gets Trevor Lawrence, another very good all-time quarterback. As a true freshman, beat Alabama in the national championship. And when I mean beat them, I mean beat the dog shit out of them. And then lost another national championship by getting the dog shit beat out of them by LSU. But when he hasn't had these number 1 rated quarterbacks and all-time college quarterbacks, what has he done? He was very good. I'm very good as a stretch. He was good when he had, Taj Boyd when he first got there to Clemson. They're always good teams. They're always worthy of being 9-3, 10-2, regardless of who the quarterback is. But when I'm talking about, we haven't seen Clemson be Clemson without those, quarterbacks. So, can Dabo elevate these guys without that quarterback, or can he not?
So my take with that is that, and we've talked about this before, is during this NIL era, you have to learn how to adapt and get players. I'm not saying they don't have great players, but Dabo is not adapting with this NIL piece, and he's missing pieces clearly on the defensive side, and maybe some of it's coaching. But if Dabo does not adapt soon, this is what Clemson will look like.
And listen, I know people are against the transfer portal, but you got to use it.
Sorry, yes. Yeah.
You got to use it.
Yeah.
Clemson, if you go on their defensive side of the football, you have 3 big-name defenders, 4 really, that are eventually going to be, for sure, first-round talents. Peter Woods, TJ Parker on the defensive line. Those are going to be for sure first-round picks this year in the NFL draft. Avion Terrell, more than likely, is going to be, there's about an 85% chance he is going to be a first-round draft pick as a corner. All right. They have a linebacker, Sammy Brown, who's not eligible for the draft this year, but he is next year, that more than likely could be a first-round draft pick. So, but the problem is they don't have anything else in the secondary outside of Avion Terrell. So they're already bad with him. Now, he got hurt in the Georgia Tech game, and they looked even worse. So you got to use you. And I get it. Dabo wants to have people in Clemson that wants to be at Clemson. Sure, I get that. But Ryan Day does the same thing. This is why Ryan Day is very picky on who he goes after in the transfer portal at Ohio State, because he wants people that are there to win and win for Ohio State and not just there to collect a check. But if you're smart and you use the transfer portal the right way, what you do is you recruit like normal, and then what you weren't able to get in recruiting, whether you missed out on a corner, a safety, a linebacker, a pass rusher or something, then you use the transfer portal to fill in what you weren't able to get. Or, if you just need that, you at certain positions you need veteran people. Okay, now I'm going to use this. Like if I can go get a senior pass rusher to try to mentor my 5-star pass rusher I just got in the recruiting class for a year, so that way he's a little bit better for his sophomore year. You use it like that. You don't just go freelancing, spend it because you got it. But there are some schools that just do that, and you see it doesn't work like that. But if you use the transfer portal the right way, you fill in what you weren't able to get in the recruiting phase. And Dabo's not doing that. So, again, kind of like we talked about, like you said already today, I talked about it last week with like guys like Bill Belichick, for the NFL. If you don't adapt to the football will leave you behind.
Absolutely. And it's looking like it is for Dabo right now.
So, and here's the other thing, and some people can stay at one school forever and just be happy. Kirk Ferentz at Iowa has been that way. Matt Campbell at Iowa State for the most part. I mean, Matt Campbell, every time a job comes up, you hear Matt Campbell's name, but he's never left. And so some people can stay at one school and be happy. Maybe as Dabo's time in Clemson ran out, maybe does he just need a fresh change of scenery? I don't know.
And maybe it's a slight overreaction though, a little bit, only because last year they lost 2 games and they still made the playoff.
Yeah, but you're looking at that ACC right now. You're losing 2 games. You're not making your conference championship, which means you're probably not making the playoff.
Oh, no. This year's way worse. Yeah, no question. I'm just saying, one bad year can't, tarnish Dabo's name right now.
No.
But I can definitely see it being a slippery slope for him going forward. So yeah, we'll have. I think this is going to be more of a time will tell. Will he adapt or will he not to this new college football era? So.
Yeah. But, a couple other games, we had the USF Miami game, which Miami just flat out trounced.
Miami looks good.
Yeah, I think so. Joel Klatt, who I really like. I like listening to him. He's very insightful. He puts out his top 10 every week. And this week, I think he had, if I remember correctly, here, I'll try to look it up real quickly. His top 10, he had Miami 6. And I was like, okay. To me, I was like, Miami should be, like, if we're ranking based on how we've seen it, which is how Joel Klatt pretty much ranks it. He doesn't go off, like what the poll says and all this and that. He's ranking it based off just how he sees football. And if you're doing that, how do you go off of anything other than Miami is the number 2 team in the country? Because regardless of how they've played, the Texas game is still a big-time win for Ohio State. So to me, Ohio State is still number 1 in the country, and they're still, I've always had, not just because they're Ohio State right now. I've always had, you win the championship. To be the man, you got to beat the man. So until they lose, they have to be number 1. So I don't know how you go up. Miami should be number 2 comfortably. Number 2 to me. And then the discussion after that can go anywhere you want to after that. But like Joel Klatt, he's got Ohio State 1, LSU 2, Oregon 3, Penn State 4, Georgia 5. And so to me, the top 10 to me should almost look like it should go Ohio State 1, Miami 2. I would have Florida State 3 because right now, as we stand, the Alabama win for Florida State looks better than either of LSU's wins against Florida or Clemson.
Oof, I don't know about that. From that, I mean, they weren't even ranked to start the season, were they?
No, but if I'm going off of what I've seen, and also Florida State has looked more dominant than LSU so far. So I would go, like I said, Ohio State 1, Miami 2, LSU or Florida State 3, LSU 4. Oregon has looked very good. Now, granted, they haven't played anybody. So Oregon for me is 5, then Georgia 6. I look at it from my rankings are very, because I look at it from, what does your schedule look like the rest of the way? All these factors. I also take into a fact of, do I truly believe if you matched up today on a neutral field, do you win? So I don't know if, even though Georgia's played Tennessee, Tennessee's more proven, Georgia's a little bit more proven. I don't know if Georgia could beat Oregon on a neutral field right now. So that's where I kind of go, where I give the advantage Oregon. Georgia 6, Penn State 7. Dude, Kirk Herbstreit put out his top 5 and has Penn State, I think, 1 or 2. And I'm like, who in the hell has Penn State played to make you say they're the best team in the country? And then I think you rounded out with Oklahoma, who still a good solid win against Michigan. Utah, I think, is one of the best teams in the country, and they get to prove it potentially once again against Texas Tech this week. And then I still believe, if we're just going off the eye test, even though they lost, Tennessee is one of the 10 best teams in the country.
Yeah, they look pretty good.
I think, it's a home game, for them, and they lost to Georgia. I get it, but they went toe-to-toe, eye-to-eye with Georgia. Just one bad kick that didn't go their way, cost them the game. So, I don't, and then so then let's not off topic because it was one of our topics, but then let's get into this, dude, because what is this? So Haley Sawyer went viral this past week because she made a video and a tweet came out about why she voted a certain way. Okay. So if we're reading this, AP voter Haley Sawyer is taking some heat from college football fans after she submitted an interesting ballot for week 3. In her week 2 ballot, Sawyer had Florida number 16 after the Gators lost to South Florida. She moved Florida up to 14 and did not have South Florida ranked at all. So before the South Florida game, Florida was ranked 16th in her AP poll, in her voting. They lost to South Florida, and she moved Florida up to 14 and did not rank South Florida. All right.
Great move.
She had Florida State number 10 and South Carolina and 14 in her week 2 ballot. Florida State beat their FCS team by 74. South Carolina beat their FCS team by 28. She moved South Carolina to number 10 in front of number 11 Florida State in her week 3 ballot. In week 2, she had Oklahoma at 18, Tennessee at 25. Tennessee beat their FCS opponent, and Oklahoma beat number 15 Michigan. She moved Tennessee up 13 spots to number 12 in front of Oklahoma. All right. She had Clemson number 5 in week 2. Clemson beat Troy 27-16. She dropped them 18 spots to 23. She had Alabama number 11 in week 2. The Tide beat UL Monroe and FBS team 73-0. She dropped them 6 spots to 17. So, and quotations there, they said maybe recalibrating to a more realistic ranking. Okay, that's understandable. I can understand that to an extent. Week 2, she had Kansas State 19, Iowa State 23, after Iowa State's already beaten Kansas State. This ranking was also after Kansas State beat their FCS opponent by 3, while Iowa State beat their FCS opponent by 48. So she took some heat from this, and she put out a video, okay? So basically in her video, she was basically going on saying that her vote, it does not matter. And that's how, that she, it's not that serious and all this and that. And I'm just like, well, if that's the case, why do we have an AP poll if it doesn't matter?
Right. Really?
Why do we have a poll? Why do we have a poll, for one? 2, if that's truly how you feel, why do you get a vote?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why
she might get her vote taken away for that.
So I just don't understand if people like that get a vote. Why can't somebody like us get a vote? What does it take? Because you can't sit here and tell me it matters. It doesn't matter because now your ballot is being posted and you're catching heat for the way you're voting, and now you want to say, oh, it doesn't matter. So I just don't, that tilted me, because people like that, get a say so and who gets ranked what. And, I'm sure she, and those AP votes go into college football. Like, it goes into consideration for the college football playoffs.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So people like that are going to affect an outcome later in the year. So, and I get it. Some people, if you're a conspiracy theorist, the AP poll is a little bit of a scam anyway. But because they're, voters are going to put certain people in certain spots so that teams have better wins, and et cetera, et cetera. But I mean, it's just, wow. I hate that. I hate that people have a vote with a mindset like that.
So this is from ESPN. This just explains who votes on the AP Top 25 poll. This is just a little paragraph about it for those of you who don't know. The votes are from about 60 writers and broadcasters nationwide who cover college football. That makes up the total that determines the AP 25 poll, Top 25 poll. Employees of the AP news organization don't get the vote, but they do choose the voters. So the goal is to have every state with an FBS school represented by at least one voter. That's from ESPN. And they vote online via a secure link from the AP poll, AP news organization. So it's really just people that are more ingrained in the sports world than us, really. They're actually people who probably have degrees in this stuff. And
I mean, she flat out said, there's so many people that vote on the AP poll, my vote doesn't matter. Your vote 100% matters.
100% matters. Out of 60, it's not that many.
Like, your vote 100% matters.
And the way she voted, it probably skewed a lot.
Yeah. People don't realize a singular vote can swing a lot of different things.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
So, I mean, the mindset of certain people. So that irritated me. But just
grind
kind
your
of recapping like college football from this past week. I mean, at what point do we talk about it's never going to happen. But at what point does Stark look himself in the mirror and go, does Arch Manning truly give myself the best chance to win? Now, I don't know about their backups and, who's behind. I do know a little bit about them, but I'm saying, like, when I say I don't know if they give them, a better chance. But I mean, dude, it'd be one thing if Arch Manning had his game against Ohio State that he did, and then came out in these, meaningless kind of games where you're supposed to be, just tuning up essentially, and you're just tearing it up. You're dominating. He's not even doing that.
No.
Like, you can't even put up numbers against, your lower level opponent, your non-conference games that are supposed to be tune-up games. So against UTSA, 11 of 25, 114 passing yards, a touchdown and an interception. And then he had 9 carries, 51 yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, you're not even performing against your lesser competition. And then, let's go in when they play. So who they play the rest of the year? So they play Sam Houston this upcoming week, which is the last of their non-conference schedule. All right, now you get into conference play. They go to Florida. I mean, that quarterback matchup at Florida might set football back 10 years. Watching DJ Lagway versus Arch Manning might set football back 10 years. Okay. Then you get the Red River shootout, the Red River rivalry between Oklahoma and Texas, which the way it's looking, Oklahoma might win that. Then they go to Lexington against Kentucky. That'll be the game that Arch Manning decides he wants to be Peyton Manning. So
probably.
I'm not really worried about that game. Then you go to at Mississippi State, which they'll probably win that just off talent alone. Then they host Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt is liable to upset them because Diego Pavia is not scared.
No.
So, and then at Georgia, I just can't see that game going well for them.
Now, their defense will keep them in a lot of games this year because their defense is really good. But if Arch can't keep the defense off the field, their defense, they're going to get tired. So Arch is going to have to move the ball down the field eventually.
Yeah.
To give the defense time to rest. And
here's the thing. Like, and this is where, so, when everybody kind of labeled me as an Arch hater, like, this is where we go back to the, where, I brought up Aaron Murray's quote. Clearly there was something not right with Arch from the beginning, because how was he not, if he's this so-called first-round talent generational guy, how is he not taking over the starting quarterback job of somebody that just went in the 7th round? So but I don't know what you can do. Like, I don't know if Sark just needs to simplify things more. Now, I will give credit. Texas is essentially replacing an entire offensive line. So, offensive line is having to learn how to play along with Arch Manning having to learn how to.
Yes,
And so,
but on
but
top of that, a lot of that, I feel like from what we've seen so far, a lot of that is mechanics. I mean,
it's all mechanics.
he's missing throws, and he's throwing balls into the dirt.
Yep.
I don't necessarily think it's all
He's sidearm
offensive
throwing
line
when he
related.
doesn't
But
need to be sidearm throwing.
yeah, what
Like,
he needs to figure that shit out.
I don't. And somebody brought up a good point. Like, if you look at where he played in high school in Louisiana, like it is some of the worst high school football you could
It
possibly
was 3A too,
Yeah. Like it's not good competition. So,
but
you know,
he got that last name.
yeah, you get the last name Manning, it adds an extra. I told you, people used to say that and I guess you're not necessarily wrong at this point, but somebody tried to make the claim when he was, when he first popped off on the scene, and everybody was talking about him in high school. Somebody had said he's a 3-star talent, but because he's a Manning, he gets a 5-star rating. Now, I won't go as far as, because you can definitely see the talent in Arch. So I wouldn't go as far to say 3-star, but I said he's 100% a 4-star talent, and he definitely gets an extra star because of the name. But yeah, he's got a lot of mechanics to fix, and I don't know if, because your offensive line is learning at the same time and you've got a bunch of skill position players that are ready to go now, I don't know if Sark has the time or patience really to work with Arch through this, because you got to think he's under a lot of heat to win.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, do you have to make the ultimate decision of, do I take the time to develop this guy, and hey, by doing that may cost us some wins? Or do you go, I'm catching all this heat, do I bench him? How do you bench one of the most expensive quarterbacks in college football?
Not sure.
Trying to look at, so they're okay. Well, that didn't help. Let's see. Who is the backup at Texas? I think it's Trey Owens. Nope. Name is Matthew Caldwell. Trey Owens is the third stringer. Not familiar with Matthew Caldwell. Came from Jack State and Gardner. Okay, he's been around the block. Troy, Jacksonville State, and Gardner Webb. So let's look at Mr. Matthew Caldwell's stats from where he's been around the block. Okay, well, apparently at Jack State and Gardner Webb, he did not play, but he did play at Troy, and not that good. Played in 10 games, 63% completion percentage, 1,608 yards, 13 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Sark just might be screwed. I just don't, I don't know. But again, I think it does, if they don't figure this out, like if Sark can't figure out that balance with Arch, we talked about this a couple weeks after the Ohio State game. I think there's a very good possibility that Arch Manning could hit the portal.
Oh yeah, there's a real possibility, especially.
I think it might be a mutual agreement at this point of Sark going, I think it might be better if we go separate ways. Arch and, Archie and Peyton and them going, yeah, I think we agree.
Do you think that hurts his NIL money?
No. People are going to, regardless of how he plays the rest of this year, somebody is going to pay an abundance of money to have him at their university, because the name alone is going to put butts in seats.
That's true, I guess.
But again, now where does he go? Does he take the Peyton route and go, to Tennessee? Do they try to find somebody that can actually develop him as a quarterback? So maybe is this where somebody like Lincoln Riley pops back into the scene and he goes to USC? Or, does he come to, you mentioned Louisville, the Mannings like the Brahms, but I don't see a world where he does, but I'm not going to throw it out.
I mean, if you're looking at, the only reason I said that is because we saw clearly the mechanics were off. Somebody has to develop him as a quarterback. And there's the Brahms, Brian and Jeff have both done that pretty well over their careers. And they've put in a couple of quarterbacks in the NFL. Now, granted, they're not starting or anything, but they're,
Well, I think another school that could be up to mention, and I think they've done a pretty good job of developing QBs for the most part, underratedly, if that's a word.
Good enough.
But, and I really wanted him to go to this school but he went to Texas. I think LSU would be a good look.
Yeah, Nussmeier's last year could be a good time.
Nussmeier's last year, you can get
transfer over. They got a good defense.
You can get, I think he would have one. I mean, you'd only have 1 year to figure it out, but
It could look like another Joe Burrow type situation.
could be. I mean, like I said, they've had a good track record. Jaden Daniels and now Garrett Nussmeier. I mean,
Yeah.
so, and now I'm just talking about just guys under Brian Kelly. So
Yeah.
So I don't know, but anyways, I think Notre Dame and Clemson's going back to the college football recap. Notre Dame and Clemson's, I think college football playoff hopes are pretty much done. I think there could be a world where if Notre Dame runs the table the rest of the year and finishes 10-2, they could potentially slide in, depending on how Miami and A&M finishes the rest of the year. The committee could go, well, yeah, it's 2 losses, but they were 2 really good losses. So I could see where maybe they put them in, but I think Clemson's done for. The way Miami's playing, the way Florida State's playing, the way Georgia Tech's playing, the way the potentially Louisville could play the rest of the year, I think they're done in the ACC. I think Billy Napier should have been fired today. The fact that we haven't got that message that Billy Napier has been fired from Florida is crazy, but I think he should have been fired. He should have been fired immediately after the LSU game. And then, yeah, I mean, sorry, last thing. So the top 5 that I mentioned in my top 5, Ohio State, Miami, LSU, Florida State, Oregon. I feel like those schools, and I kind of wanted to throw Georgia in there. The problem is, and he had a good game against Tennessee, I still just don't believe in Gunnar Stockton at Georgia.
No, me neither. I was thinking that while I was watching the game.
I know he had a good game.
Yeah, but
I just still can't. I don't believe it just yet. I need to see another game like that against and he'll get that. In 2 weeks they play Alabama. So if he has a great game against Alabama, sure, I'd be ready to jump Georgia into this conversation as well. But I think Ohio State, Miami, Florida State, LSU, and Oregon have separated themselves from everybody else. I feel like there's those 5 schools, and then there's everybody else right now that are the best. And then, yeah. Yep. All right, now, last thing, college football. Doug, I gave you the video. Can you please play the video real quick?
I will, but to recap the recap we just went over. Klucas and I have a shared note where he puts his picks in every week, so I can see. Just want to let everybody know for the big games. He picked Alabama over Wisconsin. He picked obviously Ohio State over Ohio. He picked Georgia Tech over Clemson. He picked Miami over South Florida. He picked LSU over Florida, and he picked Kentucky over Michigan. Or Eastern Michigan, sorry. Yep. And then the only 2 they got wrong were Georgia, Tennessee, and Texas A&M, Notre Dame, which were both came down to game-winning plays. So, I mean, hats off to you, buddy, because those were honestly very good picks.
Yeah, 6-2 on the week, and overall 17-5 on the year.
Yeah, and so to keep in mind, like when I say that both of those games, Georgia, Tennessee, Texas A&M, and Notre Dame, both came down to game-winning plays. He had the score, Georgia, Tennessee, 28-33, pretty close score, and Texas A&M, Notre Dame 23-24. So, I mean, to be honest, you did pretty fucking well.
Yeah. All right. Well, then before you play that video real quick here, we'll put this up here then, and I'll share this with you as well. But these are my pick for this week. I think Texas Tech is able to go on the road and get a big win against Utah in a close one. 33-28. I've got Texas Tech winning that one. Auburn, Oklahoma, I think will be a very good game. At OU. I think OU gets the win, though, 24-21. Tulane and Ole Miss, if you like offense, this is your game. All right? Especially if Ole Miss decides to go with Trinidad Chambliss. What a name.
That is a name.
I have Ole Miss winning 33-26. Michigan at Nebraska. Patrick Mahomes wannabe gets his big win against Michigan. At home. South Carolina, Missouri. I think Missouri runs over South Carolina. Florida, Miami. Could this be, just because it's an in-state rivalry, I think it is a little bit different. Could this be a close game? Could DJ Lagway and them figure it out for a game? Sure. Obviously, I think, though, Miami wins. And then Illinois, Indiana at IU. I do have Indiana winning this game. Again, close game, but I think Indiana wins. And then I always throw the Louisvilles and Kentuckys on there just for me and you. So I do have Louisville winning this one, obviously against Bowling Green State. So
there you go, folks. We'll see how he does on Saturday.
All right, now this video. This is another thing that tilted me this week and got me going in a heated debate in the comment section of this video with certain people. So this video is from Yahoo Sports. So
yeah, given the sources here.
Yeah, this was on TikTok, by the way, when I found it. So all right. So you're going to ask yourself, how did this get me in a heated debate with people in a comment section? Because I said in the comment section, because sometimes every now and then I just comment on these random videos. Yeah. And obviously when I saw this was before South Florida got rolled over by Miami. But I said in the comment, there is an absolutely no world where 2 American Athletic Conference teams get into the college football playoff.
No.
There is no world whatsoever where that happens. And so, of course, I get all these people that answer back and are telling me, why isn't there? Yada, oh, yes, there is. Yada, 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 just going on and on. So, I said there's actually my exact comment, I'm looking at it right now. There's absolutely negative 0% chance that 2 American teams get into the college football playoff. And then I have people in here trying to explain to me that if USF goes undefeated and loses the American championship, there will be 2 American teams in the college football playoff. I said no. I said if you think, again, yes, I am a troll. I said comment back was, if you think 2 American Athletic Conference teams are making the college football playoffs, I will gladly give you the number to AA because you're drunk at 10 a.m. in the morning.
I will be Saturday.
And I said, if it came down to South, this was what I said back. I was like, all right. I said, if it came down to an undefeated, if it came down to USF being undefeated but losing in the conference championship, and USF and Tulane were both 11-1, and Tulane is a conference champion, I said, and it came down to them, and let's just say in that scenario, Tulane was the Power 5, the Group of 5 team that got in. Okay. So now your options are a 11-1 South Florida, or a 10-2 Oregon, 10-2 Michigan, 10-2 Georgia, or a 10-2 Florida State. I said they're picking the Power 5 teams every single time. It does not matter. They would pick a 10-2 Oregon, a 10-2 Georgia, a 10-2 Michigan, a 10-2 Florida State over a 12 or an 11-1 or 12-1 in that scenario, South Florida, every single time.
Yeah, no question.
And there is no world, and this isn't even me saying that it's right. Okay, so let's preference that. I'm not saying that it's right that they would do that. I've always been a believer. Listen, you play a great season. I mean, I'm kind of on. Let's backtrack. I'm kind of on the fence about it, where I'm like 50-50. I feel like if you have a good enough season that says you should be in the college football playoff, you should be in the college football playoff. But I'm also on the fence of I'm all for the best possible playoff. And I'm sorry, putting Tulane and South Florida in the college football playoff is not the best possible college football playoff. I'm sorry. Again, I'm not saying that it's right. I'm just telling you the way that this committee, I mean, we went 2 years ago where there was the 4 team. We didn't even put an undefeated Florida State in the playoff because they were down a quarterback. So if you're telling me an undefeated Power 5 conference champion couldn't even make a playoff, granted it was the 4 team, not the 12 team, but you're telling me a Power 5 conference champion undefeated couldn't even make the playoffs. In no world is a 12-1 non-Power 5 team making a playoff unless they win their conference championship and they were the best Group of 5 team available. And you're only getting 1. You're not getting 2. I'm sorry. You all can live in this little fantasy land that you want, saying that it's possible. It's not. Okay? I'm sorry. They would even consider, let's just say like Alabama goes 9-3. They would consider Alabama at 9-3 over a 12-1 South Florida or Tulane. All right. So let's get out of fantasy land. There's no world where 2 American Athletic Conference teams are getting into the college football playoff. And you will not change my mind on it. So there was that. All right. Now let's move on to the professional football league. And week 2, well, first of all, Doug, let's get it out of the way for me and you. Folks, Daniel Jones is winning the MVP.
Okay.
The Colts are going to the Super Bowl.
Indiana Vanilla Vic Jones
Indiana
is the
Jones,
real deal in
Danny
Indy.
Dimes.
He actually is showing what everybody thought he was going to be coming out of Duke.
He's showing what the number 6 pick Daniel Jones was.
Yeah, he has an offensive line that protects him. He's got a top 5 running back behind him. And, when they're healthy, the defense is very good. He put 316 in a touchdown and a rushing touchdown after they ran basically tush push 3 fucking times on the goal line against a very good Broncos defense.
Yeah.
And, thank God for the leverage call. But
we kept I kept saying in the first half. And he was not afraid to throw it at Pat Surtain.
No, actually, I took a screenshot.
And Pat Surtain is is widely regarded in the NFL and football fans as the best corner. He won Defensive Player of the Year last year as the best corner in the NFL. And Danny Dimes had no problem throwing it at Pat Surtain. It was just wild to me, especially since the week before.
And had success at it.
Yeah. The week before, when they played the Titans, Cam Ward only threw at Pat Surtain one time and did not throw at him the rest of the game. So,
all right. Yeah. So I found some stats on that because I was going through Twitter this morning, as everybody does after Sunday football. This is from at the Destin Adams. His tweet is Broncos cornerback Surtain versus the Colts. Times targeted 9. He allowed 7 receptions for 63 yards. And that defensive grade was 43.9 and coverage grade was 38.2. And that 43.9 was 97th of the 114 cornerbacks. And that 38.2 was 99th of 111. Basically, what he was saying is we picked on the reigning defensive player of the year. That's a good sign going forward for the Indianapolis Colts and Shane Steichen, who was not afraid of his quarterback throwing the ball over there. So,
and listen, and this isn't like before where even when we rolled out Gardner Minshew 2 years ago, and then like last year when we kept rolling out Joe Flacco, where we ran the ball a whole lot. We still threw, obviously, but it wasn't just as much. Shane Steichen, this is the most open playbook we have seen Shane Steichen since he's came to Indy.
I don't think we have
never seen Shane Steichen open up the full playbook.
And there's a lot more that we haven't seen.
And he is with Daniel Jones with confidence. And you're starting to see that Shane Steichen is a brilliant offensive guy. And the way he's able to design plays, get people open.
Yeah.
So
he knows what he's doing on offense.
It's the first time, Doug. It's the first time we've been 2-0 to start the season since 2009. Right, we're the first team in the Super Bowl era to not punt in their first 2 games of the year.
That's hilarious. What is his name? Roberto Sanchez? Isn't that our punter?
Rigoberto Sanchez, yeah.
Rigoberto Sanchez, yeah, that dude.
And I was thinking about
easy money this year.
When I saw that said we haven't punted in our first 2 games, I was like, I'm pretty sure we did, and we did punt, but on the punt it was running into the kicker,
right?
So it didn't count.
Yep. We'll take it. That's still a pretty good stat.
And yes, and like you said, thank God for the leverage call. Because it
luck's involved everywhere.
Move the field goal up 15 yards, kick the field goal, we win, we beat the Broncos. We move on to Nashville next week to play the Titans, and we get to see Danny Dimes on the road.
Yeah, and this will be a first test to see how a road environment gets to him a little bit. The Titans aren't the best, but
they do have a good defense, though.
They do, yeah. I was gonna say they have a good defense, so if they can mimic anything from the Broncos, I think we'll be in a good shape.
Yep. And I would say last year, now we didn't finish games. Part of that is because of quarterback play between Flacco and then Richardson. But last year we were a pretty good team on the road for the most part. Like we were always looking like we were about to win or always in games, and we just obviously, like I said, just couldn't finish. So now that we have our Lord and Savior Daniel Jones.
Yeah. Defense needs to stay healthy. We were missing our 2 best players and still come out with a W. That's pretty big. But yeah, once the defense gets healthy again, we'll be a scary team. Mark my words.
Listen, we've been saying for years, we have the team ready to go. We got to get the quarterback right.
It had to be.
And if Daniel Jones is going to play like this, and especially now, the Chiefs might be done. So, the AFC.
You got Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Daniel Jones.
Wide open for the taking.
Could you imagine that stat line?
Could you imagine a potential AFC playoffs where Daniel Jones beats Josh Allen in the playoffs and then beats Lamar Jackson in the AFC Championship game?
You know me, I'd be so conflicted with that.
I know you would, but I'm gonna.
I wear my Colts shirt proud.
But speaking of the Ravens, can we talk about Lamar and Baltimore? throwing a 40-yard touchdown to DeAndre Hopkins for
Just
no reason.
For no reason.
At the end of the
For
game.
no reason. Just hand the ball off to your 6'2", 250-pound running back or whatever, and just let him eat. But yeah, no, you know what this really was. So because we talked about this yesterday, I really think this was because basically in this Buffalo game, they took their foot off the gas, and
they're showing we're not letting up.
Yeah, they're showing that, okay, fine, you're right. Maybe we did against Josh Allen and the Bills. The worst thing they could do is get the ball back to him. And now they're showing, all right, fine, here you go. Here's what's going to happen. And I'm fine with that, as an honorary Ravens fan because of him coming, because of Lamar Jackson. But I'm okay with that. Run the score up. Who gives a shit? It might have been a slap in the face to Flacco, but, I mean, fuck it. He's been gone for a while.
So here's something I want to propose to you as an honorary Ravens guy. So we've seen, obviously they've had success. Baltimore has, for the most part, except for playoff success. If they don't do it this year, if they don't go to the Super Bowl this year, if they don't, like I said, they don't go to the Super Bowl, do the Ravens and John Harbaugh need to part ways?
Absolutely.
And so that was one of my takes. I feel like for Lamar to finally break out, Harbaugh's got to go. And somebody made a good point after the Ravens-Bills game. Somebody said, John Harbaugh to me is the Doc Rivers of the NFL. So, and his point was Doc Rivers has the most blown 3-1 leads in history. I think after the Bills game, I think Harbaugh now has one of, or if not the most blown leads in the fourth quarter. And so Harbaugh's been known to do that. Not known to blow the leads, but because he's been known to take his foot off the gas. It's like He can't help himself. He'll do this shit against Cleveland, or he'll try to prove a point, but then when it matters most, he'll go right back to what he knows.
And it seems, that's what I'm saying. It seems like he was taught that way, maybe as a young coach, and that's what worked in the past. But clearly, right now, in the last 5 years, that shit's not working. Figure it out. You got a dynamic playmaker with Lamar Jackson. Let that mofo eat.
But yeah, so we talked about, obviously, Chiefs lost, so they're starting 0-2 for the first time since 2014. I mean, I don't see it getting much better for Kansas City. Obviously, I still think they will be a playoff team. I think it will get better, obviously, but I don't see a world where Mahomes doesn't make the playoffs. But I think the days of them being a surefire AFC Championship and Super Bowl team are done for now, at least.
For now.
So yeah, and then we had a couple of injuries today in the NFL. So Jaden Daniels got hurt, during the Thursday night game. His status for week 3 is up in the air.
I didn't know he got hurt.
JJ McCarthy is going to be out for the next 2 to 4 weeks. So good old Carson Wentz will be probably stepping in for the Minnesota Vikings.
And in the past, he's looked pretty decent coming into teams. And then obviously
Joe Burrow got hurt, turf toe. He's going to have surgery. He'll be out 3 months.
He's probably happy he's not getting hit anymore. Good God. This is another Andrew Luck. That's another Andrew Luck situation.
It's 100% another Andrew Luck. But yeah, so, and then next week, we do have a lot of good games in the NFL for next week.
This week?
Well, this upcoming week. I mean, there's still football on.
Oh, yeah, I guess. It's not over. However you want to say it.
But yeah, I'm trying to pull it up here. You've got, obviously, we talked about Colts Titans. Thursday night, you got Dolphins Bills, which the Bills should run them over. We do get Rams Eagles next week. Should be a good game. Broncos Chargers will be a good game. We get a snooze fest at 4:25 between the Cowboys and the Bears. And then your Monday night game next week your Sunday night game is Chiefs and Giants, which boring. And then Monday night, we get to electrify it a little bit more. You get Lions Ravens Monday night.
Ooh.
But so I say snooze fest between the Cowboys and Bears because, Douglas, I have a photo, and let's talk about it. Mr. Caleb Williams. Nope. There we go. First 18 career starts. You have Mitchell Trubisky on one side, Caleb Williams on the other. I mean, listen, I was called a madman for saying Caleb Williams wasn't that good. All right. And I have documents to prove that.
Of course you do.
Nope, that's for this year. That's 2026. Maybe I don't have it on here. Maybe it's not saved on here. I know it is on here, so I don't know why it wouldn't be. on my laptop, but so Jesus Christ.
He loves you.
Dude, oh, here it is. So I'll try to show you. When I did my quarterback rankings, I had, if it's going to clear up. There we go. I know it's a little backwards for some people. I had Caleb Williams listed as my 5th quarterback in that draft class. Okay. I had Bo Nix number 1, Jaden Daniels 3, JJ McCarthy 4, Bo Nix 1, Jaden Daniels 2, JJ McCarthy 3, Michael Penix 4, Drake May 5, Caleb Williams was 6. So sorry, 6. I was called a madman for saying that he was the 6th best quarterback in the draft class. And if we're going to be honest, I mean, JJ McCarthy hasn't necessarily looked greatest, but I mean, he showed up when it mattered and won a game for them week 1. But I mean, Drake May's definitely been better. Michael Penix has been better. Even if it's slightly, they've been better. Obviously, Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix have been better. Caleb Williams, to me, I mean, I get it. It's only year 2, but we have to start having the conversation of him being a bust. Like, in terms of, like, I know bust is kind of, a harsh word for some people and a harsh term, but I mean, at some point, like, for a number 1 pick, you're a bust. You may not be a bust as in a complete player, but for a number 1 pick and a guy that was supposed to be generational, we got to start having the conversation. Because he doesn't even look like he belongs on the field at times.
Not really. I mean, I don't even know. I mean, maybe you got to give him time with a new coach with Ben Johnson, but the Lions made him look silly. The Lions absolutely destroyed Ben Johnson. Partly because I'm maybe just speculating here. Partly because Dan Campbell knows how Ben Johnson was going to play the game. I mean, for at least one side of the ball, right?
Yes.
So that does help, but maybe we give Caleb a year or 2 under the new coach and see what happens. But I mean, yeah, they got to figure out, and we're getting close to that boomer bust line there.
All right, and then to wrap up the show here, Doug, I told you I was going to do this to you.
You did,
but and this is what I'm going to do, guys.
You did.
I need people to know that Mr. Douglas Harden isn't just a pretty face on the other side of this camera. All right, I know he doesn't. I'm a crack addict at this, so I can't, like, I'm looking up information and researching and doing all this and that. That's my drug. And Doug is a very busy man, doesn't have time to do all that. All right, it's not that he doesn't want to or anything, but he's got a lot of other things going on. But I want people to know that Doug is a certified ball knower. God. He does know. He does know ball.
On the spot here.
All right, so Doug, we got 20 quarterbacks here. All right, this is every Colts quarterback to throw a touchdown since 2000.
God. Okay. All right.
I try to make it a little bit easy to pick your team. We saw a lot of these on the damn screen yesterday, Doug. So I gave you the college that they attended to, and then the years they played for Indianapolis, right there on the side, and then how many touchdowns they've thrown.
God. All right.
Now this is obviously before yesterday as well. So
okay. Well, obviously number 1 is Peyton Manning. Number 2 is Andrew Luck. And apparently he played from 2012 to 20,198. NC State is Jacoby Brissett. North Dakota State is Carson Wentz. Another NC State? Can it be multiple, or is this every single?
No.
Okay. I was like, because I know Jacoby Brissett played and then left.
Obviously only played 1 year.
2020. Is that? No.
Brandon's favorite quarterback.
Who'd you say?
It's Brandon's favorite quarterback.
Brandon's favorite quarterback? I thought that would be Florida.
No, that was sarcasm. He hates this guy.
Phillip Rivers?
Yep.
I should have said that. It's the first name that came to mind. I should have said that. All right. Well, we know. I'm gonna skip to some where I do know. Florida, I know, is Anthony Richardson, obviously.
Yeah, you don't have to go in order here.
Yeah. Since 2000. Okay, so it's all obviously post Manning. Duke is Daniel Jones. Where did 2024? Okay, so that's Joe Flacco. He's 24.
Yep.
That's gonna be Delaware. Boston College is gonna be that was 2022. That's okay. So Washington State, I know, is oh my God, it's fucking he's got the great mustache. Why am I drawing a blank on his name?
Uncle Rico.
Yeah, I know his Minshew. Jesus Christ. Boston College 22. Who was before Minshew. Who was in between Carson Wentz and Minshew?
I said,
Oh my God. Matt Ryan. Yeah. Because I'm thinking about this both ways because I kind of like know
yep.
the
All right.
college.
The ones that the only one that I think there might be two I think you for sure don't get, and it would be this one, the San Diego State one, and then probably this one, the Wisconsin one from 6.
Where did Orlovsky go to school?
Okay. All right. If you said it, I'll give it to you.
Yeah, because I knew he was Big East.
Yep. So Dan Orlovsky was the UConn.
09 to 2010. God, who was that
Now
right
remember,
after?
some of these may be backups. They're not necessarily starters, but they've thrown a touchdown.
Okay, Jim Sorgi. Where the hell did he go to school?
Correct. So that's the first.
Wisconsin. He went to Wisconsin? All right. He was freaking backup forever.
Correct.
All right, well, let's get some of these recent ones. Who went to Texas? Friggin' why do I want to say Matt Castle? That's hilarious. Not Matt Castle. God dang it, what's his name? Oh, I can picture the dude.
It's the next Tom Brady, Doug.
Yeah, obviously. Fuck. That's gonna get on my nerves. What his name is? Sam. God dang it. I know the name. Oh God, just do it. I know.
I know you know it.
Sam. Oh yeah. Okay.
I know you know it.
Because we were talking about.
You might not get this one because I don't know if you would know this guy either. This Kansas State. So these last three, I don't know if you would get.
Okay. Well, 2019, Michigan State. Who was the other Boston College guy? I'm trying to think who the hell was.
So this guy, journeyman. He's been all over the place in the NFL. Primarily known for playing in Cleveland and New England. Listen, knowing a lot of these names, you've pretty much already passed the certified ball knower.
Yeah, he was a backup, Michigan State?
No, he started at Michigan State, but
No, I know. I'm saying he was the Michigan State.
Back up a lot of places, but this guy was the guy a lot of teams called for once their quarterback went down.
Oh, Nick Foles?
No, Nick Foles never threw a touchdown for the Colts.
Oh, that's right. We actually talked about that. He had like the worst stat line ever.
Yep. All right, I'll give you these last three because I don't think you're going to get them.
Lindley? No, I wouldn't have got that. Josh Freeman? Probably not. Tolzien? Mm-hmm. I should have got that one. I knew that name.
All right. This guy, Penn State, known for taking the Titans to an undefeated season, almost. They lost one or two games in the CJ2K era. I forgot you didn't get this one up here. This one he was mainly known for being the quarterback of the Seahawks, taking them to the Super Bowl. What? This one's gonna kill you when you figure it out, when I tell you who it is.
Dilfert?
No, that's not Seahawks.
Oh, that's not. Oh, Matt Hasselbeck. You know what? I saw the bald guy. Give me credit with the bald guy. All right, they were both. This
guy
bald.
is wildly known as the worst. This Purdue guy, worst quarterback in NFL history.
Drew Brees. No, I'm just kidding. Curtis Painter. Yep, Curtis fucking Painter.
All right, the Michigan State guy, journeyman.
Why am I drawing a blank on his name? I forgot he freaking played for the Colts.
And then the last one,
Kerry Collins. I don't know if I'd have got that one.
Yeah,
I should have got Brian Hoyer.
But okay, you got a majority of them though. So
yeah, I got the main ones. I think pulling Jim Sorgi was a good one.
Pulling Sorgi, Orlovsky, Ellinger. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like I said. But yeah, I just want people to know this is a collective group up here. All right.
See, I don't. Yeah, you're more the research guy. I do kind of like. I go a lot of based on just what I see.
I just want people to know that my guy is a ball knower. Okay.
I do my best. All right, guys. Well, I think
he's not just an awesome co-host.
Man, you're just you know, I love you too, buddy. Thanks. That's basically what you just said to me.
I did.
Well, now that the soap opera is over, this is end of the episode. If you liked it, like, comment, subscribe. If not, you could still like, comment, subscribe because we're awesome. And we'll see you guys in the next one.